So now I want to take the time to tell you a little bit about the return of our fifth grade school programs. Griffith Observatory has a long history of having school children come visit the observatory. Ever since the opening in 1935, we've had programs that bring kids up. I think it's been pretty much every year. There may have been some years we took some short breaks due to wars and things like that. But I do know that ever since I've been here 14 years ago, I started at Griffith Observatory, and ever since the reopening, which is about 16 years ago now, I think, the fifth grade in-person school program has been running. It's been running on site at Griffith Observatory. We bring fifth graders up about 25,000 a year, and we are hoping to return that program very soon. It's coming in the fall. We're putting the final changes into the registration process and making our final plans. I've begun training the museum guides on the material again, so we're excited about that. But even sooner, our online school program is returning. So stay tuned for the in-person program. It's returning sometime this fall, but a little over a week and a half from now, so that's, a week from Tuesday, we are launching our fifth grade online school program again, and we're going to open registrations up next week. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to show you some of what that online program is like. You can see here some school kids looking at a device and seeing our beautiful Zeiss telescope in the background. It's seeing one of our telescope demonstrators talking about that. So they hear about our telescopes. They get to see a comet made. Here's one of our wonderful museum guides, Isa, making looks like a giant comet, actually. It's a kitchen comet. And here's our very own Jared Head, who's here tonight, of course, to talk about Out to Launch. He also participates in this program and makes comments for the kids. And you can see their responses up above and how much fun they think this is while they're learning. Little do they know. This is all made possible by technology that was put together by our team. Matthew up in the booth, Brendan up in the booth up there. They both have been instrumental in getting our streaming gear, our streaming carts like this built and ready to use. So thank you, everybody that's done that. But in addition, we have a lot of folks in this call, folks that work on All Space Considered, a lot of museum guides that just work up at Griffith Observatory that all contributed to this wonderful online program. And tonight, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk to a couple of them. Chris, I know that you've been responsible for a lot of the artwork and animations that have gone into this, and you wanted to show off a few of the things you think are particularly cool.
Yeah, I'll show a couple of those. I really have been knee deep in the online school program, and it's proven to be a real joy for me. We're not just duplicating what we do in the in-person program. We meet the same educational standards, you understand. But because it's virtual, we can do things like art and animation in a way we couldn't before. Let me give you one example here. If you have visited the observatory, you know that our front lawn, the sidewalks there, have brass lines marking out the orbits of the planets. Now, the observatory you see here, by the way, is a virtual model of the observatory. It's not the real observatory, but I'm able to actually build the model to include the solar system lines that are on our front sidewalks. This is something that the school children would see the brass lines, but if you were visiting in person, but now we can do a lot more than that to help teach different concepts. So I was actually able to bring to life the solar system model. They're just brass lines in real life, but here I can have those lines rise up out of the pavement. I can invoke little magical planets. The sun can be blazing away there in the center of the solar system, and here you see the inner four planets of our solar system. And we were teaching, of course, about how close you have to be to the sun to keep warm. That gives the ability for life on the Earth. But we could take it farther than that, and we did, and it was a complete ball for me. Here's that same model on the lawn from the observatory, but now we've taken away our sun, our yellow sun, and put a white sun there, one of the brighter stars. Because of that, you see the green zone around the edge? That's the habitable zone, the distance you have to be from that star to have a world like the Earth. The planet you see there with the orbit is in Earth's orbit, an imaginary planet around that kind of star. And now the same planet, same orbit, it's too hot. There were lots of examples like that, where through the animation, we could take something that really does exist at the observatory, but use it in a different way to teach our concepts. Now, I will say, because one of our modules was about exoplanets, I was able to go crazy, and I had a lot of fun envisioning what different types of exoplanets might be like. We had a section where I was able to actually just kind of go hog wild and describe not known exoplanets, but all the kinds that might exist based on what we know, grounded in science, but using imagination. This obviously is a water world around a double star, maybe a little Star Wars from my ancient history leaking into that. And here's one more for you, which does a couple things. First of all, this is a scene none of the kids have seen yet, because we're still producing new material here. This is from Module 5 that we're working on, that teaches a new set of lessons, so new environments, new animations. This is a planet that is not old and stable and safe like ours. It's a young volcanic world with a turbulent, lightning-riddled atmosphere, and it's just getting its first oceans of water. And you may be wondering where this is. This is a particular place. It's a place I've wanted to illustrate in this, the school program for a long time. And we're going to be visiting this planet a lot. And I wonder if you folks at home can guess which planet this is. This young, turbulent, unstable planet. That's the Earth.
Oh.
Because Module 5 takes us to all of the different Earths that we've had in the past. Yes, time of the dinosaurs, Pangea, Snowball Earth, all of it. And we get to explore it and share it with the kids. That's what I'm enjoying about this amazing school program.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun module to bring to the kids. And we're hoping to launch that one in 2023, but this school year. So hopefully by March or April, come this springtime, kids can come hear about the history of the Earth. And not just the good times, also some of the bad times. Earth is habitable for us, but is it going to remain habitable? Earth has this habit of going through these phases where it suddenly has this, I'm going to turn into a snowball and kill off all the life. And sometimes the life makes a bad decision and says, well, I'm going to produce a whole bunch of oxygen and kill off a bunch of the life. So life has changed the Earth before that then had caused a mass extinction. And Earth has changed itself, kind of. The climate change due to orbital changes or an impact in the case of the dinosaurs. So question is Earth going to stay habitable with us doing what we're doing as humans? And that's a question we are going to deal with the kids, not just the past. So it's going to be a little bit of a deep one for the kids, but we are going to end with a ray of hope, we like to say, because NASA does have an Earth observation program that they're running to really monitor what's happening to the Earth and help us make good choices as how to be good stewards for the Earth to keep it habitable. Now, another person that's worked very hard on this school program is our very own Ella Ritz. And join us. There you are, Ella. Hooray. Ella has been my co-content creator for this entire program. We've had a lot of help with the scripts, but there's been many a day where Ella we've spent just hours and hours on Zoom calls hammering through the text, and then it goes off to the director and it comes back with red lines through all of it, and Ella gets to make the changes for all of that. So I like to tell people that, we're all getting to tell stories that we want to be telling, but it's told in a Griffith Observatory way, and our director does lead us in that, and the program is very consistent because of that. He has an outlook and a manner of developing these that the kids are responding to, which has been really, really terrific. But without Ella, I think it would lack a certain flair. So Ella, thank you for all you do to make these programs so enjoyable for the kids. But you have also provided, artwork for the program itself. You've put together the PowerPoint. You've helped us mix music. You've helped us mix videos together. But you also have done a lot of work on the student and teacher guides. And I know you wanted to tell us a little bit about some of your favorite parts of what's in those guides.
Yes, I do. And thank you for that introduction, Dr. Reitzel. So For all 4 online school program modules, I coordinated and designed extensive guides for teachers and students with the vital and valuable help from my coworkers, some of which are behind the scenes in this call right now. The guides contain glossaries, lesson plans, worksheets, coloring pages, word games, and all kinds of creative and astronomical activities for the observer and everyone. So although they were aligned to current 5th grade science standards, I still feel like there's a broad spectrum of resources that can be meaningful for all ages. So here you see in this picture, this activity pictured from Module 1, students go outside every 3 or 4 nights and they observe, record, and draw the moon's phase. This activity is my favorite from the Module 1 guides because students are empowered through observation to think about Earth's relationship with the sun and moon. The second page of this worksheet asks, how long does it take the moon to return to its same shape? So we want them to discover that recording astronomical phenomena or any phenomena can help you discover patterns. And that's part of the school standards. Museum guide Eric Gabaldon had the idea for this activity, and one of Allspace's segment producers, Bill Gruneberg, designed the first draft. So thank you, Bill. So next page, for Module 2, we have some resources for observing comets and predicting their return. There's instructions for making a comet in your classroom or freezer, or at least a chemically similar one. But my favorite activity is actually the silly crossword because of a joke at the bottom that you solve. I don't want to spoil it, so all the more reason for you to check out these guides on our website. On to the Module 3 guide.
Oh, come on, spoil it for our audience.
No, okay, fine. So the joke is, why did the scientists pick a shooting star over a burger for lunch? A burger is meaty, but a shooting star is a little meatier.
It's just
it's
all right.
So clever.
It's
the worst and the best all at once.
Yes. So on to Module 3. This guide has some phenomenal coloring pages by former Allspace segment producer Molly Roll. We miss you, Molly. And some water conscious lesson plans and worksheets. So this worksheet pictured about the properties of water is great because there's these little activities and experiments to help you understand water's properties. Another Allspacer, Sarah Vincent, made the illustrations for this resource. They are just beautiful. And the concept is also thanks to museum guide Eric Gabaldon. So next for Module 4 guides, they include a classroom role-playing game in which students infer details about an extraterrestrial being that has crashed through their classroom window. There's another worksheet where you can create your own exoplanet and extraterrestrial being. Allspacer Brendan Fay, who is helping to switch the program in the tech booth tonight, made 2 incredible exoplanet travel posters for coloring. And this activity that I have pictured has you follow some instructions and do a craft to find out the constellation behind the sun on your birthday, including constellation Ophiuchus. So not the worst constellation prize, if you ask me.
Yep.
Oh.
Just terrible. But well, thank you, Ella, for telling us all about these. Now, where can folks see some of this stuff? Is there a way that any of our audience can take a look at all this work you've done, all these activities, and if you have kids at home and you want to entertain them with some fun stuff, can they get a hold of any of this?
Oh, certainly. These guides are available to everyone. They are accessible on our website. A quick way to visit would be to go to obs.la/school. That's obs.la/school and scroll down and click 5th grade online school program. And there you will see listed all of the guides for downloading.
That's great.
Yeah, so well, thank you so much for all the wonderful work you've done to make these programs possible. And we're looking forward to launching this. Like I said, it's a week from Tuesday is the plan. So tell your teacher friends they can start registering next week. Yep. Whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday when it launches, we'll see. But we'll be letting all the teachers know. And we once again hope to serve a whole lot of students. In fact, last year, we had over 118,000 student interactions. We had almost 629 schools served. 92% of those were Title I, which means these are the schools that the kids maybe can't afford a bus. They can't afford to come all the way to Griffith Observatory, and yet they could log in remotely from their classrooms and get some inspiration. We have reports over and over again about how these students come to Griffith Observatory and run into their presenters, and then they treat the presenters like rock stars, which is really quite fun. There's even a time that a student saw one of our presenters out on the street and just had this look of, "Mom, look, it's who I saw on TV, the scientist." So, Jeremiah there, you can see how much Jeremiah loved Jupiter's moons and learning about the water underneath the surface, and maybe there's an amoeba down there. So just these kids are really taking it in. They are understanding and grasping these inspiring ideas, and we're able to bring it to them. Now, one last fun thing that I just want to not spring on our hosts tonight, but let me play a little video for you from, I think this one's from Module 3, if I remember right. This is the one about water and how important liquid water is. And this is telling you a little bit about where you need to be in relation to your star.
It's too hot.
It's too cold.
It's just right.
All right, so can we get a reproduction of that? How about we hear Papa Bear?
It's too hot.
All right, so now let's go to Baby Bear. I know we're going a little out of order, but Baby Bear?
It's just right.
Okay, so that's normally last, but now Mama Bear, can we hear from you?
It's too cold.
That's right. Our very own Katie Flynn was Mama Bear. So we have all three of the Goldilocks Bears with us tonight. So I'm quite honored by that and excited.